He looked like a buffoon in that presentation. I mean, it's so obvious what he's trying to do. It's just
the quote was taken out of context.
Well, sure, it
was what struck me.
Well, they have a few minions that are working now, and you take some notes with you, and you get it all set, and you pick something out of context, and you play wag the dog just like the movie. You wave it up there, and at that time nobody knew what Mr. Isaacson was talking about, so it played out well. But you know what? Deborah, it seems like a lot of shows I've had to look in the camera and deliver a direct message. So here we go again.
It's a big job.
Commissioner Salter, you used up valuable taxpayer time in your recent tirade. You brought in people to support your position. You used the taxpayer's camera. You used the taxpayer's microphone. And I just want to remind you that 2 weeks after your comments, that same camera and microphone is available for the citizens of Santa Rosa County. And we might be having a conversation about that.
We'd be more than happy to interview Commissioner Salter.
Sure, absolutely.
Speak with us as well.
I think we'll probably be doing the interview at the next county commission meeting. Look, it's ridiculous. It's sheer stupidity. He looked like an absolute buffoon when he did it. Anybody that has a half of a brain knows what this is all about. The heat's getting high, so we're going to lash out. We're going to defame, and we're going to defend, and we're going to delay, and all the 14 Ds. That's all in the world this is about. And honest to goodness, I knew exactly what Alan was talking about there. It is a decision of the county commissioners. It doesn't have to go to the courts.
He sent the county commissioners an email that said, let's not wait for the courts to decide whether Team Santa Rosa broke the law or not.
Right.
Let's go ahead and discipline them now because I have something in my hand.
Yeah, well, let's take
care. Complaint.
How hard is that to understand? Take care of it in-house before we embarrass the county to the Northwest Florida community. Every single thing that I brought forward, but you know what? And once again, Commissioner Williamson and Commissioner Lynchard are great county commissioners, and they're not to be included in this. But the previous 5 of them, through the years, when I go up there, they're throwing rocks at me. How dare you read the Sunshine Law to us? That's the kind of response you get. And they haven't wanted to listen to it. And look, I'm sorry. I remember in 2003 at the big tax rally that we had, the anti-tax rally that we had, there was one citizen that was carrying a sign and it said, "Hey Salter, if you can't take the heat, get out of the kitchen." Well, I'm kind of reminded of that right now. If the flames are too high, then just do us all a favor and go ahead and resign and hit the road.
Well, I think my question through all of this is, why is it so difficult to follow Florida Sunshine Law, Florida Public Records Law? Why has that been so difficult to get them to do that?
It continues to amaze me. It is a very simple process. It's not hard to understand. And I tell you, I'm gonna step it up this week. It is such a simple process. I am going to say, in my humble opinion, that if anybody is not following it, they are wanting not to follow it. It's not hard. It's written. It's easy to see. It's easy to comprehend. It's easy to understand.
Well, it's disturbing to me that the only check and balance against this problem has been the citizenry speaking out.
Yeah, had it not been for me, you, Alan, and several other citizens, where would we be at today?
And it's disturbing to see that one avenue to address this, to have, instead of the problem be addressed and solved, to have people turn around and say, you're dangerous,
Exactly.
sort of insinuating that maybe somebody's borderline criminal behavior or something like that.
What he did, and Commissioner Salter, you made some strong statements at that county commission meeting, and I know you're real good about having notes ready. At the next county commission meeting, I'll be asking for evidence of what evidence that you have to back up your statements, and I hope that you're prepared for that, because I just don't believe for a moment it was him throwing a fit. just to let everyone know, you notice how he phrased it. You gotta laugh. You gotta laugh. You gotta think it's fun. I want it on the record, but as chairman of the Board of County Commissioners, I want this on the record. You know, it's just one more episode of you know, I'm going to slap you down if I don't like what you do, and I think the citizens have had enough of it.
Well, everybody should be concerned if there's any question of some kind of official source saying you don't have the right to complain.
Right.
Especially if that complaining has been the only avenue to address this problem.
Right.
Nobody
Absolutely.
else has done their job and addressed this problem.
Absolutely. Well, look, I hope, ladies and gentlemen, and once again, 30 minutes is not enough to do justice to this. We've hit the high points. We certainly wanted to give...
Well, now, we spoke with Alan Isaacson. We talked to him a little bit about, and we're going to have to play that coming up here. We talked to him a little bit about how dangerous
Right.
he thinks he is. We
Right.
raised the dangerousness question.
Yeah,
with him.
absolutely, absolutely, and we hope that, you know, when you guys finish looking at the list of our investigative reporter, Deborah Nelson, I think she's maybe hit every category, and hopefully it will alleviate any fear that you might have of the most dangerous man in Santa Rosa County, Alan Isaacson.
So Alan, you had some excitement on Monday at the county commission meeting.
Yeah, basically got accused of
Scaring people.
yeah, being dangerous somehow. You know,
You're a big guy. Maybe that was
obviously
really,
I intimidate at least one person.
Well, there were no names mentioned. It was a generic.
Actually, they said anybody that is involved in economic development that might be a danger to their physical harm.
Or that I think they were in fear of you. Now, there was a quote from an email that you had sent to the county commission, and the quote was, "Let's not wait for the courts," was the quote that was repeated several times.
And let me explain something. For those that may not realize it, I actually assisted, myself and the county attorney, drafted the actual contract that Team Santa Rosa has with the county right now. We drafted it. And we put some protection in that contract to protect the citizens of Santa Rosa County because we were having issues at the time with open records and different things that dealt with them fully reporting what they were doing with the amount of money that we were providing them. And so paragraph 16 of their contract actually stated that Chapter 119 violations would be consideration for the termination of the contract.
And that's if somebody asks for a public record and they don't give it to them.
Absolutely. And it actually states in paragraph 16 that if they do not comply with Chapter 119 requirements, as is the law, Florida statutes, and any other applicable laws that may apply, that we can terminate the contract. And, you know, recently I had turned in 11 possible violations of Chapter 119 myself, and I'm the one who assisted drafting the contract. And then the Florida Police Benevolence Association, one of the largest unions in the state, sent me a copy of their complaint that they were not even getting compliance through Team Santa Rosa. And so here I had these two things in my hand, and I said, you know, the contract was written in such a way that a citizen could petition the county for performance of that contract. And it was never our intentions as the draftees for us ever to have to go to a state attorney or a judge or a jury or anything like that to get compliance. I'll give you a perfect example. We have contracts at our church that people contract out to us to do our lawns or whatever. If I'm not satisfied with them, my deacons and I will take care of it. We don't have to get the law enforcement guys involved. You either abide by the law or you don't abide by the law.
So you were saying,
or by the contract, I mean.
So you were saying the contract was broken. Let's
right. So when I say we in an email to the county commissioners, as one of the ones that drafted the contract, and as the ones that approved the contract, that's the we.